Picture this. You stumble upon a suitcase stuffed with cash. Perhaps your old, distant, filthy rich relative just passed on and penned all their wealth to your name. Or maybe your side hustle just hit the jackpot. Your dream came true. You have all the money you've long wished for. But it all happens so fast that you have no idea what to do with it. Your mind is racing. Where do I start? What do I tackle first? Relax. That's why I'm here. In this video, I have prepared a definitive guide to investing in the right order just for you. 1. Get a safety net. The first thing I would advise anyone I know and genuinely care about to ever invest in isn't crypto or bonds or stocks. Nah, it's emergency funds. Why? Because it's your financial safety net. You need something to fall back on in the face of financial emergencies, a buffer. Nobody's a fan of having a massive stash of cash just sitting there. But trust me, you don't want to be in a situation where you're missing rent or bouncing checks. Now, the amount you need in your emergency fund can vary. It depends on you, your situation, and how much risk you're comfortable with. For example, if you're a fresh graduate with a promising career and no one depending on you, you might be good with an emergency fund that covers a couple of credit card bills. It's a bit less than what you'll hear from the standard advice, but if you can crash with a friend for a bit in a pinch, it's a different ballgame. On the flip side, if you're a single mom juggling a job with fluctuating income and supporting a couple of kids, you need a bigger cushion. So it's all about financial security. If you're losing sleep over your money worries, that's a sign you might need to beef up your emergency fund. Start with this and do it faithfully. Eventually, you'll want to transition to more accessible assets, but don't rush it, one step at a time. 2. Retirement funds. All right, let's talk about one of the sweetest deals in the financial world: employer matches for your retirement fund. It's like hitting the jackpot, seriously. If your job offers 401k matching, you'd be crazy not to jump on it. Why, you ask? Well, these matches are like getting free money. It's an instant, guaranteed 100% return on your investment, and in the world of finance, that's a big deal. Let me break it down. Say you make 50 grand a year, and your employer matches the first 5% of your retirement contributions. That means if you put in $2,500, it instantly doubles to $5,000. That's huge. Honestly, there's not much out there that gives you such risk-free returns. Not the stock market, not rental properties, not even a lucky streak in Vegas. Your company basically wants to hand you a fat bonus every year. Why say no to that? So, when it comes to grabbing that 401k match, take my advice and just do it. It's a financial no-brainer. Alright, so once you've done this, the next thing to do is 3. Get rid of your credit card debt. Doesn't sound like an investment because money's leaving, but trust me, it is. The average credit card slaps you with a whopping 16% interest rate. That makes credit cards the heavyweight champ of debt when it comes to costliness. So for most folks, tackling credit card debt should even be priority number 1. If you're stuck in the never-ending maze of credit card debts, I've got a little anecdote for you. A while back, when a friend of mine used to work as a credit analyst, they came across a guy with a car loan for his Porsche at a jaw-dropping 24% interest rate. He was definitely a major exception to the start with credit card debt rule. Now here's the game changer. Knocking down debt with a 16% interest rate has the same impact on your finances as scoring a brilliant 16% return on some top-notch investments. When the returns are this high, you'd be crazy not to go for it. This thinking is why you'll often find this step right after 401k matching, which gives you a solid 100% return, but before diving into stock market investing, historically at around 7% return. It's all about maximizing those high returns, my friend. 4. Pay off higher interest rate debt. When I'm talking about higher interest rate debt, we're looking at anything that's 4 to 5% above the 10-year U.S. Treasury rate. Now, usually the Treasury rate hovers around 2 to 3%. So you want to set your sights on any debt that's sitting at a pesky 6% or higher. A classic example? Student loans. They often fall into this category. Getting rid of this kind of debt is like clearing away the clutter so you can see the big picture more clearly. You'll be surprised at how much breathing room it gives your income to start optimizing the rest of your financial game plan. 5. Milk your HSA, Health Savings Account. Alright, let's talk about a nifty financial move. maximizing your health savings account, HSA. This little gem packs a punch when it comes to tax benefits. When you use it for medical expenses, it affords you tax-free contributions and withdrawals. That's a win-win that even outshines the perks of both traditional and Roth retirement accounts. Now here's the cool part. If life takes a turn and you don't end up using all of your HSA contributions for medical expenses, no worries. At the ripe age of 65, your HSA transforms into a traditional IRA. And for those who choose to retire early, the HSA might just become your ultimate retirement account, offering some serious financial flexibility. 6. Don't sleep on your IRA. The next thing to invest your money in is your IRA. Here's the deal. If you anticipate being in a lower tax bracket during retirement compared to now, traditional IRAs have your back. On the flip side, if you see yourself in a higher tax bracket in your golden years, Roth IRAs are the way to go. But here's the kicker. It's not as make or break as it's made out to be. Sometimes, you might as well flip a coin because the traditional versus Roth showdown doesn't hold all the cards. Here's a nifty trick. I like to balance things out. If my 401k is traditional, I roll with a Roth IRA and vice versa. This way, I'm covered no matter which way the tax winds blow. So for me, it's a traditional 401k and a Roth IRA, a strategic play that ensures I've got my bases covered, come what may. It's like having a financial safety net, ready for whatever life throws my way. Once you've maxed out your HSA and IRA, the next move is to 7. Go all out on your 401k. Trust me, the tax benefits here are a game changer, and that's why the 401k takes the lead after those after-tax investments. I've got a little secret for you. By maxing out my 401k, I'm pocketing over $6,000 in tax savings every year. And that's not chump change. Now, when it comes to picking between traditional and Roth 401k, it's like peering into a crystal ball of future tax brackets. But here's the good news. It's hard to go wrong when you're raking in thousands in annual savings. It's like having your cake and eating it too. 8. Pay off lower interest rate debt. Alright, let's break down the concept of lower interest rate. We're talking about debt with interest rates hovering between 4 to 5%, usually 2 to 3% above the Treasury rate. This includes those student loans with friendlier rates and most car loans, but it doesn't cover most mortgages. Now, you might wonder why I put debt paydown above jumping into the stock market, even though the market has historically offered higher returns, around 7%. Here's why. First off, market returns can be a bit of a roller coaster, while debt paydown gives you steady, guaranteed win. Secondly, there's something magical about the freedom of being debt-free. It's like a financial superpower. Plus, there's the whole tax thing with after-tax investing. It can eat into your returns more than you'd expect. So while the stock market is a tempting playground, sometimes it's wiser to take care of business on the debt front first. It sets you up for even greater success down the road. 9. Invest in taxable index funds. Now, I'll be real with you. Trying to beat the market with individual stock picks is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's a tough game. That's where index funds come in. They're like the most valuable players on the investment playing field. And if you're looking for a solid choice, Vanguard is the name on everyone's lips. They've got a track record that speaks for itself. So when it comes to building your investment portfolio, consider putting your money into these reliable index funds. They're like the sturdy foundation that can lead to long-term financial success. 10. Pay off your mortgage. If you've just stepped into the realm of homeownership, chances are you snagged that sweet low-interest rate deal. Now you've got a chunk of time, possibly a couple of decades, before you're mortgage-free. But here's where it gets interesting. With a 15 to 30-year horizon, history shows that the stock market tends to outperform the 3 to 4% interest on your mortgage. So it might just make more sense to channel that extra cash into some trusty index fund rather than putting it all towards the mortgage. Of course, there's a bit of strategy involved. As you approach the end of your mortgage, or if you've got a higher interest rate, that's when the idea of switching gears between number 9 and number 10 starts looking pretty enticing. It's all about finding that sweet spot for your financial journey. Now, it's important to remember that each financial situation is as unique as a fingerprint. If I attempted to cover every single scenario, we'd be here for days, and I'd probably have to order a new keyboard. However, there are some solid guidelines that apply to most folks, helping them put their hard-earned cash to work in the most effective way possible. This list represents a well-rounded textbook approach that suits the majority of viewers. It provides a solid foundation for building wealth and securing your financial future. That said, your personal circumstances might throw a curveball into the mix. If you're particularly debt-averse and those lingering student loans are keeping you up at night, there's absolutely nothing wrong with prioritizing them over maxing out your retirement accounts. Remember, as long as you're actively investing your money, you're on a path towards boosting your net worth and making significant strides toward financial security. So take a breath, trust your instincts, and know that you're making savvy moves towards a brighter financial future. If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another amazing video on financial insights. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and financial wisdom.